Well, it's happening. It is happening. I knew it was only a matter of time because Microsoft has already done it twice. Sony has already done it twice. Nintendo technically already did it once with their previous generation of consoles, but now it is happening for the Nintendo Switch 2, guys. What am I talking about? This is a press release that Nintendo has released in regards to their latest financial reports, which they have to disclose every quarter. They have announced, along with those financial reports, which we're not going to go into because I don't think you guys are really interested in that unless you're a stockholder, the price increases for the Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. And it looks like they're even adjusting some of the prices for the old hardware, at least in Japan. Looks like the Japanese console prices are going to be increasing May 25th. So if you happen to be living in Japan, you haven't got a Switch 2 or an original Switch yet, and you're wanting one, I guess the time is now for you. You don't really have much time. And we also have price increases, of course, around the rest of the world. US, Canada, Europe, we're also getting price increases right here. It's going to be going from $449 to $499 here in the States. In Canada, it's going from $629 to $679. And in Europe, it's going from $469 to $499. Those price increases are going to be September 1st. So you've got a little bit of time if you really want to get a Switch 2. It doesn't look like the original Switch models are being changed in those regions at this time. And then they are also going to be increasing the price of the Switch Online membership. Looks like that's just in Japan for now. And that's going to be effective July 1st of this year. So price increases for everybody. Even if you're just buying Hanafuda cards in Japan there, you're going to get those as well, which I guess Nintendo sells a lot of cards in Japan. I mean, they, after all, did originally start as a card company. But here's the thing. I think we all really need to realize that this console generation in general has just been an absolute mess in terms of the way the consumers have been treated. Every other console generation prior to this one, the prices of things decreased eventually over time. Sometimes that was pretty rapidly. Sometimes it took a couple years or so before there was any decreases, but they did happen. They did happen. Even for the last gen, like the PS4, the Xbox One, it took quite a long time for them to decrease the prices on those consoles, but they did decrease them over time. Actually, for the, I guess the Xbox One, maybe it didn't take quite as long because they kind of had to compete with Sony because of the whole Don Matrick debacle and so on. We're not going to really get into that, but it's absolutely wild. It's not like there's not a good reason for some of this. Of course, we know about all the market conditions. They always say market conditions. That is the safe word. That is the code word for all of the bullshit that you and I have seen going around in the world over the past year and change in regards to, certain fees being applied to imported products, certain companies doing huge data centers, buying up a lot of computer hardware like RAM and SSD storage, basically depleting the market, making deals with all these other companies to buy up most, if not all, of their inventory so that everybody else that, whether they are a end user consumer wanting to buy parts for their PC, whether that is a major corporation that releases a game console, a cell phone, a tablet, any kind of other consumer electronic devices that use these components, they're getting the short end of the stick. They're having to pay a lot higher prices, and they have to pass those prices on to the people that buy those products. And that makes people less likely to buy those products because you probably have heard various sales figures have been plummeting. I know with the Xbox, whenever they did their recent financials, they announced that there was a 33% decrease in revenue for the Xbox series of consoles, and that's despite, of course, having the price increases from last year. That's probably because they sold a lot less units. If I had to guess, if I had to guess why they got a lot less revenue, is because they sold a lot less units. That's because people are a lot less willing to pay for them, and who knows, maybe less able to, as well as things have been kind of crazy. It really has been. Anybody that says otherwise, they are lying to you. They're gaslighting you. So can we really blame Nintendo considering that both Sony and Microsoft took the lead on this? I mean, it was just a matter of time. I figured that it wasn't going to happen before summer, and at least outside of Japan, that is the case technically. September 1st is towards the tail end of summer, but I figured it had to have been coming eventually. It was just unavoidable, given all the pressures that they've had. And the thing is, they probably could potentially have increased it more. And, maybe they actually taken a tiny bit less of a cut at these changed price points versus the cut they were taking when they first launched the system. I guess it has been about 11 months now, something like that. I think it was 11 months ago that the Switch 2 launched. So, yeah, it's just very unprecedented times. And, and of course, before, whenever I was talking about the Xbox price increases, like, well, just build a gaming computer now. Yeah, that's expensive now, too. Obviously, the kind of dichotomy of that has changed, and it's just more expensive for everybody. And, kind of sucks because people don't have money for basic necessities. Gaming systems was kind of like a cheaper pastime for some people that maybe they prefer other activities, but those activities became increasingly more expensive over time themselves. And some of them started turning to gaming. That was something that definitely happened during COVID, of course. But yeah, this is the new reality. I guess get it while you can if you want it, and if you don't want it, I guess it won't affect you either way, right? Um, but if you do, I guess now is the time. Now is the time. And you know what? That actually makes me think. Perhaps these price increases, it isn't just cost related, but they will observe consumer behavior, how they react to this. And if it's pretty favorable in some regard, even if they sell less units, but if they can get away with charging higher prices for units, maybe this will be a trend. Like, even if we were to say like the hardware manufacturers and such decide, hey, you know what? Let's stop selling to all these AI data centers. Everybody pays, a fair market rate for these products, where we get a decent profit margin and all this good stuff. But everybody has access to this stuff. We're not going to be bowing to all these demand price gouging kind of things. We're just going to do things in a ethical way. Even if that was to be the case and we start seeing the component prices drop, say next year, do you honestly think that they're going to lower the prices of the hardware? Do you think that would actually happen? Like, for the end users into things, like for the manufacturer, the price goes down, but for the end user, do you think we're actually going to see decreased prices? Because I don't. I really don't. Um, because, you know, it's no longer about selling the most units, it's about making the most dollars. And if people are willing to pay whatever price they list, then that's the price, you know. And as a certain Sean Long YouTuber says, today's price is not tomorrow's price. and all that good stuff. Whatever he says that a lot. Every time there's any pricing related videos, shout out to Sean Long RGT85 on that. And shout out to Nicolas Cage right there. I have a Nicolas Cage shirt. So I really don't have much else to add. I guess get a Switch 2 if you want. If you don't. If you do want one, you should probably do it pretty soon. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Don't forget to take a look at the video directly above my head there if you want to see what I most recently did. And in the other corner, the algorithm's going to recommend something that I think you'll find to be fire. Hopefully. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe down there. And that's going to be the last line.